He didn't know her name. He didn't know her power. All he knew in that split-second moment was that her face was turning blue, and if he didn't act, she would die. And what he did next would not only save her life, it would change his forever. The cafeteria froze, chairs screeched, forks clattered, a little girl screamed for help, and then he moved. He didn't know that the woman he was rushing toward was a billionaire. He didn't know that the world would soon point cameras at him. He didn't know that fate had just tied his life to hers. He only knew one thing: he refused to lose another person he cared about. Jordan Ramirez was the kind of man the world rarely saw, a father who built his life around his daughter. He woke up before sunrise, packed her lunch, tied her shoes, and whispered, "We're gonna make it, kiddo," before heading to 2 part-time jobs and online night classes. He had dreams, quiet ones, humble ones, of opening a small fitness studio, buying a tiny house with a backyard where his daughter Lily could finally have a swing. Life wasn't easy, but he wore his struggle like armor. He never complained, never begged, never broke. And then, fate chose him. That moment in the cafe, where a single dad became a hero, was only the beginning. But standing over Emma Carter, yes, that Emma Carter, CEO of Carter Industries, he didn't see billions. He saw a human being gasping for breath. He saw panic and fear. He saw someone who needed him, and neither of them could have predicted that what started as a rescue would turn into something neither of them were looking for, but both secretly needed. 2 lives, 1 moment. A story of healing, hope, and the kind of love that money can't buy. Chapter 1. Jordan wiped sweat from his forehead as he placed a steaming bowl of soup in front of his daughter at the tiny diner table they shared on weekends. "Daddy, you have to eat too," Lily said, sliding half of her sandwich toward him. She was only 8. Small and bright-eyed, her ponytail slightly crooked from the rushed morning. He smiled tiredly. Daddy already ate at work. He hadn't, but rent was due, and milk was expensive. Sacrifice was a language his bones spoke fluently. They walked to the cafe afterward, a place that smelled like baked bread and second chances. It wasn't fancy, but to Jordan it felt like a brief escape from the weight he carried daily. That's when it happened. A muffled choke, a silver spoon hitting the floor. A woman clutching her throat, eyes wide with terror as her vision blurred. People froze. Phones were lifted, but feet didn't move. Except Jordan's. He reached her in seconds. "Ma'am, look at me. I've got you. Breathe. Try to breathe." He remembered the day his wife died. The helplessness, the waiting for help that came too late. He refused to feel that again. He pulled her up, wrapped his arms around her from behind, performed the Heimlich with steady precision. 1, 2, 3 thrusts. A piece of food flew out. She crumpled forward, gasping, trembling. Murmurs rippled through the cafe. She lifted her gaze to him, emerald eyes filled with panic, gratitude, vulnerability. For a moment the room disappeared, and it was just them, breaths shaky, souls exposed. "Thank you," she whispered, voice breaking, as if those 2 words carried the weight of a life owed. Jordan nodded, picking up his daughter and quietly guiding her back to their table. He didn't want applause. He didn't need it. He just wanted Lily safe. But as he left, the woman watched him, fingers trembling around her cup. She had power, money, security, everything. Yet in that moment, she had needed saving. And the stranger who saved her walked away like nothing happened. Chapter 2. Emma Carter couldn't stop thinking about him. People didn't walk away from her. They didn't ignore her. They didn't treat her like she was ordinary. But he had, not out of disrespect, but humility, almost shyness, like helping her was. Simply human. She tried to focus at work, but every meeting felt distant. Her assistant read reports while Emma's mind replayed that cafe moment, the strength in his arms, his firm voice, the instinctive care. She had seen 1,000 men in tailored suits, but none had looked at her the way he did. Not with admiration, not with calculation, but with concern. She tracked the cafe, asked the staff, found his name written on a receipt he forgot to take. Jordan Ramirez. She visited his workplace, a small gym where he mopped floors between training clients. He blinked, surprised to see her again. Shock flickered in his eyes when he recognized her, not from wealth, but from that moment where fear met fate. "You didn't have to come," he said softly. "You saved my life," she replied. "I wanted to thank you. You already did." He offered a quiet smile. "I'm just glad you're okay." He turned to check on his daughter sitting in the corner drawing stars on a scrap paper. Emma noticed the worn shoes, the patched backpack, the tired determination behind Jordan's shoulders. This man carried the world, and yet saved others when his own life felt heavy. "Let me take you both to dinner," she insisted. "I appreciate it, but we don't really do fancy things." "Then it won't be fancy," she promised. And it wasn't. It was quiet, warm, real. Lily giggled at her jokes. Emma found herself smiling more than she had in years, and Jordan looked at Emma not like a billionaire, but like a woman rediscovering air after years underwater. As evening faded, Lily whispered in Emma's ear, "Thank you for making my daddy smile. He doesn't do that a lot." Emma's heart cracked, gently, painfully. And that night, watching them walk away under streetlights, she realized something terrifying and beautiful. She hadn't fallen because he saved her life. She was falling because he lived his with a kind of courage she had never known, the kind you can't buy, the kind you can only feel, and fate had only begun its work on them. Would you like part 2 continuation, including romance development, conflict, her world versus world challenges, emotional climax and powerful ending for YouTube narration?